special Friday night show and spending Veterans Day with us. We appreciate you all coming out, and we hope you're going to enjoy this great night of professional wrestling. As for the first time ever, VCW will be streaming on Fight TV. If you have Twitter, the hashtag is VCW on Fight. Tweet it out and share your experience here tonight. We want to thank our sponsors for making the show possible. Thank you to Outback Steakhouse in St. Clairsville. Thank you to DWC Construction. Thank you, St. Clair Lanes. And thank you, IndyWrestling.us. Your referees for tonight's show are George Ross and Josh Main. Guys, it's Veterans Day. So if you would, first of all, if you are active military, if you serve, thank you so much for your service. We truly do appreciate you. You are the reason for everything we get to do here in this wonderful United States. So thank you. Give yourselves a round of applause. And if you would, everybody, please rise, remove your hats, and join us for the playing of the national anthem. Gentlemen, are you ready for some great professional wrestling? Are you ready for VCW 5-4 Friday night? Raise it up, guys. We're streaming worldwide. We have a big show for you tonight, 7 matches, including 2 VCW Championship qualifying matches, and your main event, a 6-man tag match. Mount Kilpis and the Beastman take on Saturday Night Special and Mad Dog Zack Myers. Your first match, a VCW Heavyweight Championship qualifying match.
Hello, welcome to VCW 5-Day Friday. I am Jason Heat alongside Eamon Payton. Welcome, Eamon, to the broadcast table.
Jason, what a phenomenal night to be a part of this. Not only Veterans Day, but 5-Day Friday here at VCW, and we got a great lineup of action, and it's our first night on Fight TV.
Patrick,
And up first, we have a qualifying match for the VCW Heavyweight Championship Tournament. This is Pretty Patrick Hayes.
Pretty Patrick Hayes, the man who calls himself the King of Victory. But the question is, after seemingly the dissolution of the Deplorables following the tragic loss that they suffered at War Games, the question is Pretty Patrick Hayes in the right mindset to qualify for this tournament?
Well, he's in a bad mood, and that's pretty much the constant mindset for Pretty Patrick Hayes. Hey, thank you so much for watching us live on Fight TV. Please use the hashtag VCWOnFight. Let the world know what we've going on here in McMecken, West Virginia. One thing I do really like about Patrick Hayes is his fashion sense. Look at that scorpion on the back. I dig it.
It's a very nice jacket, but will the VCW heavyweight title match and go with the jacket? That's the question.
Both of them are gold, so I think if anyone knows fashion sense, it is Pretty Patrick Hayes. The pretty is in his name. He doesn't lie, he's a pro wrestler.
Of course, no one in pro wrestling lies. That's the rule. But Pretty Patrick Hayes, like I mentioned before, the dissolution of the Deplorables, turning his back on Jake Ely at our last event, Grave Encounters. But he's got a tough test ahead of him.
From Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, weighing in at 203 pounds, the Specimen Devil,
As you mentioned, Pretty Patrick Hayes used to be 1/4 of the group known as the Deplorables. They reigned terror over VCW until they were defeated in War Games by a team that included this man, the Spazmanian Devil, Andrew Palace.
Andrew Palace on fire like always. The Spazmanian Devil hyped up for this matchup and his opportunity to qualify for this tournament, and also, like you mentioned, maybe get a little bit of extra revenge on Pretty Patrick Hayes.
That's right. One of these two men are going to qualify for the tournament that will happen in December. That tournament will crown the first ever VCW heavyweight champion, and Andrew Palace is the pulse of VCW. I can't imagine a tournament without him, but it's a real possibility going up against someone like Patrick Hayes.
I totally agree with you. As the gods here in McMecken, West Virginia.
There is a hurricane happening, and that is not stopping us here in West Virginia. Through the leak, through the flood, through the flame, we will bring Victory Championship Wrestling into your homes. We're sort of like the postal service of pro wrestling.
I like that. We should put that on a t-shirt. But as you mentioned, Andrew Palace, such an amazing fan favorite here in VCW. Patrick Hayes, also a great mainstay. And both of these men, one of them only being able to qualify this tournament does seem weird, I do agree. But
we got to acknowledge what's happening. There is absolutely a wet spot in the ring, and we bring that up because, hey, this is pro wrestling, things happen. B, that's now something these competitors across the entire night are going to have to be aware of. You've talked about how the ring might get slick because of sweat. This is nature's wrath taking its toll on these competitors.
Patrick Hayes obviously coming here with a bit of a chip on his shoulder. I think also particularly pointing that chip at Andrew Palace. Andrew Palace was the one that secured the victory for Team Beastman in War Games. He was the one that submitted Wilbur Whitlock.
These two are no strangers. They have spent the better part of a year battling each other, so there's very unlikely to be a feeling out process. There's just a lot of hatred. The real question at play, can Patrick Hayes stay focused? He has had Zeke Mercer on his mind. Zeke Mercer was, his leg was broken at the hands of Patrick Hayes. Mercer has been back. You know Patrick Hayes wants to put Mercer on the shelf permanently.
And you mentioned Zeke Mercer, not just Patrick Hayes coming off of the loss in War Games, but also at our last event in a tag match, teaming with Thunderbird Jake Ely, losing to Zeke Mercer and Crash Jackson.
Patrick Hayes was the one who basically effectively disbanded the Deplorables by walking out on the Thunderbird Jake Ely. We're going to see another member of that former foursome, no good Nathan Aulridge, in action tonight. And we haven't seen Wilbur Whitlock since he lost that War Games match.
Patrick Ely, almost a game of chess right here in the early goings, trying to get the Spazmanian Devil off his game by delaying things, so to speak.
The Spazmanian Devil giving the handshake.
Oh, no.
And I think Patrick Hayes may be regretting the show of sportsmanship, as insincere as it may have been.
Patrick Hayes, I should say. You know, Andrew Palace, such a high explosive wrestler in that ring, that Patrick really has to take the pace down, slow it down, in order to get an advantage here on Andrew Palace.
Patrick Hayes has no problem muscling his way through his opponents, but I know that Patrick Hayes is very resentful. At our very first event, there was supposed to be a match that would crown the first VCW Heavyweight Championship. It was through a lottery system, and it was going to be Patrick Hayes versus the Beastman. In that match, it was interrupted by what would become the Deplorables, no good Nathan Aulridge and Wilbur Whitlock, and Patrick Hayes very angry that he has to work his way through a tournament instead of just getting another shot at that belt.
This tournament already very stacked in terms of talent. You got people like Damian Chambers, Nathan Aulridge, as you mentioned, Cowpoke Paul, Madman Fulton, Jason Kincaid, and Remy LaVey. And I got to think either one of these men, if they were to qualify for this tournament, have to be one of the favorites.
It's a very stacked roster in the tournament, and by the end of tonight, we will know everyone competing in that tournament in December, which will air here on Fight TV on pay-per-view. Who's going to make it into the tournament? Is it going to be the Spazmanian Devil or the very, very handsome Canadian?
And now Andrew with a side headlock. Gets sent off in the ropes by Pretty Patrick Hayes, but gets taken down with a shoulder tackle. Andrew Palace, I would say the smaller of the two in this competition, but still able to shoulder tackle and take Pretty Patrick Hayes down to the mat. But Patrick Hayes now has Andrew Palace on the outside.
Andrew Palace may not have the size advantage, but don't be mistaken. That does not mean that Palace isn't thick with muscle. He is a very strong competitor. That's just how big and impressive. And at this point, it looks like Patrick Hayes is almost playing keep away from the ring.
Very small. That's good notation there. I think, and now just a knee right to the side of the head of Andrew Palace. This is what he needs to do, ground Andrew Palace and beat him down into the mat like he's one to do with many opponents.
It's here we see Patrick Hayes giving us a look as he grinds his forearm onto Andrew Palace. At this point, not necessarily even trying to get the win, but just
he's going to drown him!
Yeah.
He's going to drown him!
This is called waterboarding in the international courts, and it is, of course, illegal both in pro wrestling and in the art of warfare.
But Patrick Hayes, we've seen it time and time again here at VCW, willing to take any advantage that he can get.
Patrick Hayes looking to cause an international incident here at VCW.
And look at how he just wrenches in on that side headlock and uses all of his weight to just crank in on that neck, choke off that windpipe of Andrew Palace. And when you can't breathe, your stamina gets taken to, and it's so much harder to fight.
Drown a man, choke a man, whatever you do to make sure that he can't have a second win, because Andrew Palace isn't a competitor with a second win. He's got 3, 4, 5 wins in him. There's a reason they call him the Spazmanian Devil.
Irish whip now. Big running drop kick into the corner.
It's that explosivity that makes Andrew Palace so dangerous.
And now, big side O suplex, drops Patrick Hayes right on the top of his head. Cover, hook of the leg. But only 2.
It's as you mentioned before, Patrick Hayes needs to try and keep the pace slow, needs to keep Andrew Palace on the mat as soon as Palace gets to his feet. I mean, this is a man who in everyday life acts like he's had 7 surges.
And a big boot right to the jaw of Andrew Palace. That's going to stop any momentum, any energy in the body of Andrew Palace. And gets dropped right onto the knees with a gut buster.
Pretty Patrick Hayes taking a moment to try and shake the cobwebs.
The question is, can he capitalize? He couldn't, the punishment that Andrew Palace has already dished out to Patrick Hayes, he couldn't capitalize off of a big move like that over a big momentum shift in this match and get a cover.
There was a question about whether Patrick Hayes was going to be able to be focused on this match with Mercer on his mind. And while Zeke Mercer is absolutely living in Patrick Hayes' head rent-free, it certainly seems like for tonight here at 5-Day Friday that Patrick Hayes is staying focused. But this is a place we haven't seen Patrick Hayes go often, the top rope.
And Andrew Palace stopping him right in his tracks.
What a terrifying sight it would be lying prone on the mat to see a man as big as Patrick Hayes coming at you like death from above.
I would not envy Andrew Palace in that position, but really high risk predicament here. Big superplex!
And Andrew Palace may have just knocked down the big Yukon Redwood that is Patrick Hayes, and just barely does the pretty one get the shoulder up.
And much like Patrick Hayes earlier, Andrew Palace so spent from lifting Patrick Hayes over into that superplex that he couldn't take the time to hook that leg, get a tight cover in, and get his shoulders down to the mat.
We see the pain etched on the face of Andrew Palace. A lot of damage has been done to that midsection. That gut buster may have cracked a rib.
But look at Patrick Hayes, so smart here, grasping onto the leg of Andrew Palace and just almost being dead weight that Andrew Palace has to expend more energy to lift up.
Also rolling over onto his shoulders. You cannot pin a man unless the shoulders are on the ground. So great positioning by Patrick Hayes. Brainbuster applied to the devil.
Patrick Hayes still not able to put away Andrew Palace, even though he drove him straight into the mat with that brainbuster.
Patrick Hayes just as incredulous as all of us, as he thought he had punched his ticket into that tournament to crown the first ever VCW Heavyweight Championship, a tournament that already includes luminaries like Jason Kincaid and the monster Fulton. One of these two men is going to join that tournament in December. Who do you think it's going to be, Eamon?
I gotta say, if Patrick Hayes doesn't get focused here, if he doesn't let that missed opportunity get to his head, he could capitalize, but letting Andrew Palace get up to his feet.
I think Hayes really wants to toy with Palace.
Now up onto the shoulders, Andrew Palace able to float over. Could be thinking Shiranu again, hits it this time. Shot to the gut. Takes him up and pile drives him right into the mat.
Just drove Patrick's head into the...
And that's it!
The winner of the match and qualifying for the VCW Championship Tournament, the Smash Million Double, Andrew Palace!
The racing pulse of VCW has a chance to add first ever VCW champion to his resume. It is now Andrew Palace, Nathan Aulridge, Jason Kincaid, Fulton, Remy, LaVey, Damian Chambers, and Cowpoke Paul. We're going to see who else joins them in that tournament tonight.
I gotta think Andrew Palace is the favorite if you're a betting man in that tournament.
He's got the experience, he's got the speed, he has the energy. Andrew Palace brings a lot to the table. Palace signaling he is ready to become laden, draped in gold. Patrick Hayes looking very much the worse for wear. Almost not sure what just happened. I mean, taking a pile driver like that.
Patrick Hayes definitely has to go back to the drawing board and refocus himself if he wants a successful career here in VCW. Because honestly, after the deplorables have been abandoned, I mean, he's got to think of a new way to go forward in this company.
And still to come, we have our huge main event, a six-man tag, a Saturday night special, and Mad Dog Myers takes on the Beastman and Mount Kilpis, and these six have been cruising for a bruising for quite a while.
So much feud, so much inner drama between everyone in that matchup. It's going to be intense.
It's Friday night, we're running a little bit louder than usual. Your next match is a singles contest scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, being accompanied to the ring by the mighty racer Remy LaVey, from the French Quarter of New Orleans, Louisiana, weighing in at 220 pounds, the writing on the wall, Christian Noir.
This is our first time seeing Noir in action since the formation of the Origin. A new trio here in VCW, led by that man, the mind eraser, Remy LaVey, and of course being rounded out by the sideshow freak, Malakai Gage.
So many questions into the formation of this unit. You know, it started when Christian Noir went head-to-head with Ganon Green in our last event, and Malakai Gage, who we had seen be a rival, so to speak, of Christian Noir in the past, aid Christian in picking up that victory. And then it was later in the night in the casket match, Remy LaVey and Izzy Lambert were the Druids by the casket, revealed themselves to be Noir and Gage.
Remy LaVey calls himself the mind eraser for a reason. Fantastic at manipulation. Likes to find people just as sick and twisted as himself, and he has really done so here in Malakai Gage and Christian Noir.
As you said, the Bayou Bully has been quite successful in VCW competition, and with this new allegiance and this guidance from someone like Remy LaVey, Christian Noir could take things to the next level in this company.
And his opponent, weighing tonight at 265 pounds, he hails from where the wild things are. They are the Bearcat, Keith Haught!
The Appalachian cryptid, the Bearcat, Keith Haught, making their return to Victory Championship Wrestling.
Keith Haught, back at back at Memorial Day Mayhem, actually went head-to-head with Christian Noir.
We're having some sound issues. We've got some ghosts in the machines, and that's not going to stop the Bearcat from making their entrance.
The Bearcat on the loose here in West Virginia, but
I also wouldn't put this past Remy LaVey to have maybe slipped a bill to our sound person not to play Bearcats music. Remy LaVey, so good at mind games. It's so important for a competitor to hear their walkout music. This could have really gotten in the head of the Bearcat.
You have such a great point there. But Bearcat, last time we saw him was at Memorial Day Mayhem when he went head-to-head with Christian Noir in a singles match, and Keith Haught almost had him beat, or almost had Christian Noir beating that matchup, but with some chicanery, Noir was able to pick up the victory. Haught definitely looking for redemption.
Two competitors who are really looking to find their way going in to 2023 here in VCW. Certainly, Christian Noir has thrown his lot in with Remy LaVey. We'll see whether or not that proves to be successful, or whether Christian Noir is at this point more than just a pawn.
Keith Haught eyeing up Christian Noir. Oh, and there's a cartwheel. Keith Haught, they have such a explosive offense in that ring. Don't let the size of Keith Haught fool you.
Yeah, showing off what makes Keith Haught the Bearcat, the strength of a small bear and the agility of a big cat.
What a great combination.
That's the Bearcat.
Whoever,
ferocity.
I was going to say, whoever made that animal made for a great competitor.
Keith Haught, a veteran with animal-like tendencies. Haught found themselves adrift in their career until they sort of went back to nature and have found a lot more success, whereas Christian Noir drawing from darker inspiration than Mother Earth.
And Christian Noir, so vicious in that ring.
Christian Noir calls himself the test of professional wrestling. He says, I am your failure. You go up against Christian Noir, you find out exactly what you are, but Keith Haught knows what they are because Haught's a Bearcat. Test is over.
Test is, oh, chopped to the chest there by Christian Noir, but not phasing Bearcat Keith Haught.
Real question is why? Why have Gage and Noir, who battled each other, not only aligned together, but under the tutelage of Remy LaVey, as Noir actually asking for a big old paw by the Bearcat?
A paw is definitely right. Oh, and another right to the chest of Christian Noir. Just rippling off the chest. That doesn't just sting. That to your sternum can really just take the wind out of you.
The Bearcat hitting on all cylinders. And the Bearcat's going to have to try and end this quickly, because the reality is, even as you see Remy LaVey putting his hands up, showing that he's not getting involved, the Bearcat is absolutely outnumbered. And if you think that the Origin aren't going to try and get involved in this match, I got a bridge to sell you.
Cover hook of the leg.
It doesn't go anywhere.
Terrible bridge. But Keith Haught staying right on top of Christian Noir. Big scoop slam right in the center of the ring.
Bearcat proving why they belong here in the wild woods of West Virginia. And there we see the mind eraser.
A distraction by Remy LaVey, allowing Christian Noir to take advantage, and now just choking with both feet and all the advantage of that rope, Keith Haught.
Haught may be a Bearcat, but the Origin are a pack of dogs. They hunt together and they bite together as we see gnashing away at Haught.
And Remy LaVey not only winning that casket match, but qualifying for the VCW Heavyweight Championship tournament that we will see in December.
Noir with the leg hooked, and Haught only one.
Ooh, and now just a straight choke. Nothing fancy here from Christian Noir.
The Bayou Bully with bully tactics. Not necessarily all about finesse these days. Christian Noir is going to take you down with pure power, as we see there with that clothesline.
And not easy to take someone like Keith Haught off his feet, but Christian Noir with the force of that lariat. And now, again, just those bully tactics, as you mentioned again.
We hear the McMecken crowd getting really behind the Bearcat. Keith Haught has captured the imagination here of VCW fans every time they've appeared. Popularity sort of belies their lack of success in the ring so far. Can this be the night that the Bearcat turns it all around?
But again, Malakai, Gage, and Remy LaVey on the outside. Just finding any opportunity to beat down on Keith Haught.
It absolutely sucks, but in some ways it's the price of doing business against the Origin. And now, two. So we have seen Haught has been worn down, and it looks like Christian Noir getting a wee bit frustrated.
Well, still in the driver's seat, and Keith Haught, how are they going to be able to not only combat Christian Noir, but deal with two other people on the outside? You can, I mean, think of having eyes in your back of your head, but you got to have two sets of eyes in the back of your head dealing with the Origin.
Perseverance, resilience, a lack of frustration, positive mindset. These are all things Keith Haught is going to have to bring to this battle in order to get ahead against the 3-on-1 advantage. And right now, Haught has really turned it around.
Just going to sort of an old faithful, I would say, for Keith Haught, just laying in with those chops in the corner just to wear down Christian Noir.
You can't out-trick him.
Oh, my God!
Haught.
Get taken down with that shoulder tackle and just got sent halfway across the ring with it as well. That's the explosiveness of Christian Noir.
Yeah, Keith Haught not doing so hot anymore as Christian Noir has got him in the mount position.
Noir. Oh, again, I think he's going to the eyes here of the Bearcat.
Bayou Bully is not just a nickname. It is a mindset for the writing on the wall. Christian Noir absolutely punishing Bearcat Haught.
And now going to wrench in a side headlock to try to, again, ground Keith Haught. Haught trying to feed off the energy of this crowd in McMecken. Firing back.
Appalachian Cryptid going up against a nightmare from New Orleans.
Noir. Almost too much for Keith Haught to handle.
One might say too hot for Haught to handle.
Oh, but wait a minute. Sunset flip over by Noir.
And unfortunately, it's a rule of nature. You cannot sunset flip a Bearcat. Gotta go to the library. I read that when I was very young.
Keith Haught with all the weight down onto the sternum of Christian Noir, and this could be Haught's opportunity to get some momentum going.
The Bearcat looking to pass the test that is represented by Noir. The Origin does not want to lose their very first match since being established as a trio, especially with LaVey having a huge, huge contest later tonight against Cowpoke Paul.
Big bionic elbow by Haught. Scoop, slam right in the center of the ring.
That's a lot of bear and even more cat coming right down onto Noir.
But Noir only barely able to get his shoulder up.
Keith on a hot streak.
What could he be eyeing up here? Gonna wait for Noir to get to his feet and strike.
The best way to face your fears is to face them head on, and that is what Keith Haught is doing.
Ooh!
To the nightmare.
Headbutt, and Noir might be out, but Haught also feeling the effects as well.
Unable to immediately capitalize. Haught needs to take a moment, and that could cost them. Although maybe this is a tactical decision as we see the Bearcat
They have to think through this as they scale up to the top turnbuckle. Oh, but wait. Malakai Gage up onto the apron, and Remy LaVey as well.
And the Sideshow Psycho paying dividends on the corner as Noir has had a moment to get to his feet. Cutter from midair.
And that is it.
The writing was on the wall for the Bearcat.
The winner of the match, Christian Noir.
Give the assist to the Origin, Remy LaVey and Malakai Gage.
More than the assist, give the credit to the entirety of the Origin. That was a 3-on-1 mugging. That was a mission statement by the Origin. And that's a message to Cowpoke Paul, as Paul, going in with a win streak, is going to take on the red-hot Remy LaVey in just a few moments later tonight.
The message is clear to the Victory Championship Wrestling locker room. You fight one member of the Origin, you fight them all.
Very strange, very upsetting group of men. I'm not sure what links them yet other than their sadism and their predilection for pain. And they just ripped up that sign of the Bearcat.
Almost soaking in the fact that this audience got disappointed.
Fantastic momentum for Remy LaVey and proof that he chose his proteges very well indeed. And this may be the origin story of a nightmare here in VCW.
Keith Haught barely even able to get to his feet here.
So many more matches on the way. Eamon, we've got a huge main event, a 6-man tag. We're going to find out who else is going to make it into the heavyweight championship tournament between Tommy Irish and Izzy Lambert. But that 6-man main event of Saturday Night Special and Mad Dog Myers against Beastman and Mount Kilpis coming up.
You're not going to want to miss that one. That is going to be a match of epic proportions, especially heading in to our big pay-per-view, full pay-per-view debut on Fight TV on December 11th.
That's right. Please use the hashtag VCW on Fight to join the conversation all over social media, especially if you're joining us for the first time here for VCW. So much more to come. Matthew Taylor versus Jimmy Shane.
You're more than welcome to borrow mine for a slight percentage off the top if you win. We won't be able to send you guys home with the money of the Powerball jackpot, but we'll definitely send you home with something, so get your 50-50 tickets over in the corner. You guys ready for some more wrestling? Your next match, scheduled for one fall, is a singles contest. Introducing first, wrestling out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, weighing in at 220 pounds, accompanied to the ring by Christian Noir and Malakai Gage. He is the mighty wrestler, Remy LaVey.
Well, we certainly know that Remy LaVey is warmed up.
That old phrase, no rest for the wicked, I don't think can be more apt. Remy LaVey,
the mastermind behind the Origin, flanked by Christian Noir and Malakai Gage. They're already 1-0 tonight. Remy LaVey wants to keep that momentum going against a man who has all the momentum in VCW, the Yeehaw Kid, Cowpoke Paul.
Absolutely. But Remy LaVey, not just coming off of qualifying for the tournament, but also putting away a rival that he has had since the beginning of VCW in a casket match in the most, almost final way, so to speak, when he closed that casket lid.
Wyoming, weighing in at 165 pounds, Cowpoke Paul!
If this is your first time seeing the Cowpoke from Dry Rock, Wyoming, you are in for a treat. He has become one of the most beloved members of the roster, and for good reason. How long can someone keep winning before they're no longer considered an underdog?
Cowpoke Paul has been able to defy all expectations and round up the competition here in VCW. He's coming off of a win against progressive liberal Daniel Richards, and we talk about qualifying for the VCW heavyweight tournament. He did so by surviving Beastman of all people.
Yeah, the Cowpoke keeps doing the impossible. On the hot streak of a lifetime, won a battle royal to become a full-time member of the roster. Beat the Beastman, beat Malakai, Gage, and Christian Noir, and the progressive liberal Daniel Richards. Both of these two men, Eamon, have already qualified for the tournament. So in some ways, this could be a preview. This could be a preview of a match we see in December. This is a very important chance for these two to test the mettle of each other.
It's a very good point. You know, a lot of matches in VCW, there are very definite stakes, but this, almost for bragging rights and the ability to go into that tournament and show not just the opponent they're standing across the ring from, but every competitor in that tournament that they're the one to look out for.
Cowpoke Paul in December in that tournament will be continuing to prospect for gold, while Remy LaVey has been desperate to belong, and I think even more desperate to lead, and we have seen he has friends in many dark places.
I can't think of more two unlike wrestlers on the VCW roster than Remy LaVey and Cowpoke Paul in this matchup, and it almost makes what we're going to see in this contest a little unpredictable.
Well, I know preparing for this tournament has been very important to Cowpoke Paul. He has been doing a lot of extra training at the Bar Non Dude Ranch, known for years as a very impressive ranch and a very impressive training facility.
Remy LaVey with a hold of the ropes. And I've been told some big news. We're actually trending on Fight TV, VCW on Fight. Thank you all for joining us for this first event here on Fight TV.
Yeah, continue to use the hashtag VCW on Fight as we show the world what McMecken, West Virginia has known for this entire year. You don't get action like this elsewhere, as the Yeehaw Kid, Cowpoke Paul, looking to escape the lasso of Remy LaVey.
Sends Remy off into the ropes, and a trip. The blue ribbon wrestler, Cowpoke Paul, showing all that skill in the ring that he's developed.
Remy LaVey, definite experience advantage, a veteran about to start his 11th year in wrestling. Cowpoke Paul, under 2, a prodigy, not just in wrestling, but in cowpoking.
And almost that might be, if Cowpoke Paul can pick up the victory, a bigger upset than anything else that he's had here in VCW with somebody like Remy LaVey, who, as you mentioned, is so experienced.
That's very possible. I will say, I don't know that there's any bigger upset than defeating the Beastman.
That's fair.
Remy LaVey coming off the biggest win of his VCW career.
Oh, wait a minute.
We got a lasso. We got a lasso.
And he's got the origin running.
He is herding cattle. Cowpoke Paul is going to wrestling, and the origin are heading for the hills.
We talked with Keith Haught about how he was able to, not handle this 3-on-1 issue with the origin, but
now a game of tug of war, and 2.
Oh!
Well, 2 did beat 1 in tug of war. Unfortunately, here for professional wrestling, different sport, different rules.
Cowpoke Paul really so smart in that ring more than anything. That has to be a testament to how he's been able to overcome these challenges.
But now being hoisted by his own lasso, as they say. And when the human body meets steel, steel always wins 10 out of 10 times.
Head first into that ring post, and that is solid head on steel. Oh! And then gets dropped with a back suplex right onto the apron.
And now Cowpoke Paul has been introduced very personally to both hardest parts of the ring. The second hardest part, which is the apron, and the first hardest part, which is those steel posts. You may hear differently elsewhere, but I assure you this is the truth. That steel post, that's the hardest part of the ring.
Not many people talk about that.
No, it's underrepresented.
But Remy LaVey, you mentioned the experience earlier, and able to take advantage of that moment to drive Cowpoke Paul into the ring post was his experience at work, finding openings, finding opportunities, and taking them.
LaVey has been in this business for 11 years and is only just finding himself. Is this the final form of Remy LaVey? Could this be the culmination of his journey You know, we've seen this man over the last 10 years grow up in front of us, and unfortunately, we've had to see him grow up to become this person.
But a miscalculation there by Remy LaVey, and Cowpoke Paul taking advantage, tripping him, and sending him face first into the turnbuckle.
Cowpoke Paul showing why he is a wrestler beyond his years, bringing the spirit of the West to the mountains of the East.
And now, ooh, Paul gets sent out onto the apron. What could he be thinking here? Oh, no!
He's not thinking anything. His mind just got erased by Remy LaVey.
And this can't be good! Cowpoke Paul getting driven headfirst into the mat, cover, hook of the leg.
Well, whether it's good or bad is all a matter of perspective. Very good for the Origin. We already saw Christian Noir defeat Bearcat Keith Haught. You know, the leader, the undisputed leader. This is not a group of equals in the Origin. Remy LaVey definitely in control. He does not want to lose in front of his followers.
And look at Cowpoke Paul seeing Christian Noir on the outside.
Well, we talked about having eyes in the back of your head, and maybe that's not necessarily literally true, but being a cowpoke, you got to keep track of a lot of cattle, and I think that kind of sensory awareness, that proprioception, is coming in handy for Cowpoke Paul here in the ring. Proprioception, that is a sense not often discussed in pro wrestling.
But you make a very fair point. You know, you're not hurting a cow, you're hurting
many cows.
Oh!
Certainly more than 3, and that gives Cowpoke Paul more of an advantage in this situation than a lot of wrestlers would have.
Paul looking to take advantage. Oh, but Remy LaVey, smart, trying to block Cowpoke Paul, taking him over, and now gets hold of him into a backbreaker.
Remy LaVey loves to do damage. Grabs the leg, and Cowpoke Paul fighting from behind at this point. LaVey thinks maybe Poke was a little too winded.
Cowpoke Paul, this is where that tenacity, this is where that ability to fight back and pull from within comes into play. And if Cowpoke Paul can keep that momentum going like he has been in previous contests, you know, obviously he's not the favorite going into this tournament just on paper, but
he may well be the fan favorite, though. The Yeehaw Kid has done a great job of wrangling up some crowd support across this year.
Now a series of shots. Ducks one from Remy LaVey. Cowpoke Paul. Ooh, big atomic drop. And now looking to take advantage off the ropes.
Looking for big iron, but Remy LaVey with that sling blade.
And driving Cowpoke Paul hard into the mat, right into the cover.
Great job by Remy LaVey. Just immediately rolling over, draping his arm, not letting a moment pass without forcing Cowpoke Paul to expend some kind of energy. That's the veteran instinct you only get 10 years deep into professional wrestling.
Remy, though, that sling blade not able to put Cowpoke Paul away, and he needs to find something else in his arsenal. Brings him on, possibly backpack stunner.
Cowpoke Paul climbing the mountain that is Remy LaVey, though, and then sitting down for safer ground through the legs.
Rolls through. Oh, could this be? There's that saddle up stunner.
Cowpoke Paul maybe back
wait a minute.
hot streak.
Malakai Gage on the apron.
The Sideshow Psycho gets what's coming, but the damage may have already been done.
And right in front of the referee, Christian Noir. And that's going to be an instant disqualification.
The Origin couldn't risk the humiliation of defeat for Remy LaVey going into this tournament, so we don't know. We don't know 100% what would have happened, but I certainly think Cowpoke Paul was going to take this win even without this disqualification.
I think you're exactly right, Jason. The embarrassment of losing to someone like Cowpoke Paul, and now he's going to think that backpack stunner again.
And Remy LaVey and the Origin sending a message not only to Cowpoke Paul, but to every member of the tournament. Remy LaVey is coming to be the first VCW heavyweight champion, and he's not coming alone.
And even though by disqualification, the win streak does continue for Cowpoke Paul, keep in mind, that's 5-0.
Cowpoke Paul continues his winning ways, though you wouldn't know it by looking, as the Origin eyeing up Paul. as Paul makes his way to the back.
Oh, and Malakai Gage with the cowboy hat. How cute.
Cowboys and clowns are natural enemies in the wild. We've noted that before. There's a lot of personal animosity between Gage and Paul. And you know no one is relishing this moment more than Malakai Gage.
The Origin standing tall in this matchup, but we still got a lot of great matches here tonight at 5-Day Friday ahead of us. We've mentioned the six-man tag main event of Beastman and Mount Kilpis taking on Saturday Night Special and Mad Dog Zack Myers.
But coming up, we have a huge singles competition. We've got two rivals that have been waiting to get their hands on each other as No Shame Jimmy Shane tries to get the one-on-one victory over the thorn in his side, the guiding light Matthew Taylor.
Ladies and gentlemen, remember concessions are available back there in the corner. 50/50s over there to the right. We have merchandise, DVDs available as well, so make sure you guys get yourself some stuff to take home with you and enjoy some treats here tonight as well. You guys have been great so far. You having a good time? Would you like to come back next month for some more VCW? Our next show is going to be Sunday, December 11th, 3 p.m. start time, when VCW presents Road to Victory. Your next match is the main event of the first half of your show. It is brought to you by IndyWrestling.us, a singles match scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, from the Bible Belt, weighing in tonight at 195 pounds, he is the guiding light, Matthew Taylor.
If this is your first time joining us for Victory Championship Wrestling here on Fight TV, we really appreciate it. And I have to be very honest, I don't necessarily even feel ashamed about this. We've seen a lot of very intimidating presences so far, but no one on the roster scares me the way this man does because of the influence that he has on other people.
The way that Matthew Taylor, the guiding light, has been able to manipulate people in this company.
Beyond the company, the community. The Church of the Guiding Light has infiltrated McMecken, West Virginia. This man, he's got people on the school board. He's got people in local government. We have no idea how many followers Matthew Taylor has, not just in this town, but all across the country. And I've learned, I have to say allegedly to make sure that we're safe, but allegedly, he's a very cult-like figure.
The way Matthew Taylor preaches, let's just say that, you know, he said it back at This Is War. He said, love me and I'll love you back. Disrespect me and I will end you. Those are the simple rules of being a follower of someone like Matthew Taylor.
He thinks of love as fear, pain, and submission.
From Backstreet, USA, weighing in at a ton of fun, no shame, Jimmy Shane!
Ideological opposites are Jimmy Shane and Matthew Taylor. And that's why Matthew Taylor targeted Jimmy Shane upon arrival here in VCW. Taylor wants to make an example, a sacrifice out of Jimmy Shane, but Shane just won't go down.
I think the thing is, people like Matthew Taylor, and they prey on the weak. They prey on people either that have low self-esteem, people who don't have love in their life, one way or the other. Jimmy Shane doesn't have that. He has the love of this audience at VCW. He knows exactly who he is. There's a reason he's No Shame Jimmy Shane.
Yeah, this is a man who does know self-love. This is a man who's got legit, real status and self-confidence. You can't take that away from No Shame Jimmy Shane.
And Jimmy Shane eyeing up Matthew Taylor.
What a creep.
The gospel of the light in the hands of Matthew Taylor.
Just they show, like, Matthew Taylor just makes me feel icky.
Just a disgusting dark cloud coming over McMecken. It's not just the weather outside tonight. This minute Matthew Taylor stepped foot in this city.
Things changed, and they're not done changing. The new age
Oh,
Messiah preaching a message of violent atonement. That is not, that's not a recruitment speech that particularly speaks to me, Eamon, that's for sure.
Absolutely not. And, oh, Jimmy Shane catching Matthew Taylor off guard, and now right into the advantage. Oh, was thinking bionic elbow.
Jimmy Shane, known as the hits that just don't miss, as the guiding light getting rocked by the backstreet man.
Big full Nelson slam, and this could be over quickly. Hook of the leg.
We have seen these two face each other before in tag team action. And Jimmy Shane, along with Damian Chambers, did get the win, but that's not enough for Jimmy Shane. He wants a one-on-one victory that has eluded him.
Matthew Taylor taking advantage of Jimmy Shane and now going to scale up to the top turnbuckle. What could the guiding light have in mind? Oh, double stomp, it lands on his feet. Spear! And Jimmy Shane might have this done right here. Hook of the leg cover. Oh, and a foot on the rope. I don't even know if Matthew Taylor realized.
Matthew Taylor realizes everything, man. Matthew Taylor has eyes everywhere. Matthew Taylor, if he's got one thing, Taylor has awareness.
And Jimmy Shane, obviously, we talk about, you know, the sort of bad feelings that he's harboring going into this matchup because of his history with Matthew Taylor. But he also has to stay focused. He's coming in off of a loss to Madman Fulton in a qualifying match for the VCW Heavyweight Title Tournament.
And certainly no shame in losing to a monster like Fulton. But it's very possible that Shane's not coming in at 100%. And if anyone knows how to pick apart a body like crows on carrion, well, that's certainly going to be the guiding light, Matthew Taylor.
And that leg that Jimmy Shane is clutching, you could tell Taylor seizes on it like a shark that smells blood in the water.
Very good strategy by Matthew Taylor, trying to take out the knees, the base of Jimmy Shane, who is deceptively agile and athletic.
Very good point, and I think, you know, taking apart that leg, it's not just a matter of working out on any other limb. Jimmy Shane, needs that leg to execute a lot of the offense that he wants to put away somebody like Matthew Taylor.
Known as wiggling hips and picking up chicks, and you cannot wiggle your hips or effectively pick up chicks if you cannot use your legs. There is no wiggling from the ground.
Well, I'm sure the chicks in McMecken are going to be very disappointed by that, but Matthew Taylor wrenching down in on the leg. I think you've said in the past that Matthew Taylor considers these loving submissions.
Yes, he does. He considers these all to be very loving submissions. Like he said, he thinks love is pain. He truly believes he is trying to give Jimmy Shane love right now, and Jimmy Shane trying to give Matthew Taylor a loss.
Oh, but again, just going right to the leg. I laser focused on that knee of Jimmy Shane. And now going to take him, what could he be thinking here by the ring post? Oh my God!
Well, if it was in doubt before, certainly now, whatever fine ladies of McMecken, West Virginia, were waiting for Jimmy Shane after the show, I don't think he's going to be in any condition to perform.
And I think Matthew Taylor, with his gospel, almost telling Jimmy Shane to,
oh God, this is
to
really
give
awful
up,
to watch.
to give up more in the sense of the match, but also just give up in terms of, ooh.
If love is pain, then Matthew Taylor absolutely loves Jimmy Shane. And that is a love I can do without. I'm sure Shane feels the same way.
Jimmy Shane, you can hear the screams of agony, the way that Matthew Taylor is picked apart at that knee.
Well, the knee, the entire lower body.
And look at him with the gospel in his hand, almost encouraging Jimmy Shane to bend to his will.
Well, someone like Matthew Taylor relies on shame, relies on instilling and inflicting shame in people in order to guide them, in order to corrupt them. So someone like Jimmy Shane, literally known as No Shame, this must, just on a fundamental level, enrage someone like Matthew Taylor, because there's no way he can ever control Jimmy Shane.
The question is, does Matthew Taylor know that? A lot of people like Matthew Taylor can be, you know, so confident in their ability to manipulate others. But Jimmy Shane with a sunset flip. But Taylor able to get a shoulder up.
Able to ride out like the snake that he is Matthew Taylor. And now slamming Jimmy Shane right into the ground.
And now almost think he was looking to baptize him.
That's exactly right.
This is just absolutely
a perversion.
It's exactly a perversion. It's disgusting.
Of imagery and iconography that is so meaningful to so many people, and it's ugly in the hands of a man like Matthew Taylor, who almost put Jimmy Shane away.
And now going to work down. Look at him torquing on that wrist of Jimmy Shane, and with a knee also right on his neck.
It almost looks like Matthew Taylor is preying on the prone body of Jimmy Shane. He makes me deeply uncomfortable.
Jimmy Shane, oh look, schoolboy. Oh, and both men with the same idea.
This is physical and ideological warfare playing out, and I know I'm supposed to be professional, but in this particular case, I'm incredibly partisan. I believe that Matthew Taylor is an exceptional competitor, but I do not want to live in a world where Matthew Taylor is the guiding light of McMecken, West Virginia.
Because Taylor, I mean, the more power he gets here in VCW, I think he's going to start taking disciples by force.
Jimmy Shane on the front line of free thought and free speech and free love as the hits that just don't miss absolutely come through.
And that one didn't miss, especially. And this is exactly the momentum Jimmy Shane needs to build. Oh, big uppercut.
Radical positivity and aggressive acceptance. The bully beater has finally gained some steam against the guiding light.
Big double axe handle, rocking Matthew Taylor. Catches him, Uranagi.
Back cover, and Jimmy Shane immediately rolls into the rings.
And look at him cranking on the shoulder of Matthew Taylor. Imagine if Jimmy Shane can get a submission here on Matthew Taylor. How sweet and poetic that would be.
I don't want to imagine. I want to believe. I want to believe in no shame Jimmy Shane, but Matthew Taylor's making it hard.
And Matthew Taylor just barely getting his foot to the bottom rope, and Jimmy Shane having to release the hold. But he has Matthew Taylor rocked for the first time in this contest, truly. And if he can capitalize, he could put away the guiding light and snuff him out.
Taylor maybe looking for some inspiration from that book that he has brought to the ring. I don't want to call it a Bible.
Jimmy Shane, though, throws the book. And Matthew Taylor catching him with a super kick.
And Taylor may be about to put away no shame Jimmy Shane as he heads up to the top rope to deliver.
Oh my God, right to the top of the head of Jimmy Shane.
A final sermon to Jimmy Shane, no.
Jimmy Shane able to kick out Matthew Taylor.
Why is he smiling? Why is he looking at us? It's like he sees through the camera into me. I don't like it.
It gives me the creeps. And Matthew Taylor still eyeing up Jimmy Shane. What could he be thinking? Oh, I think he was trying for forgiveness. Big fall-away slam by Jimmy Shane.
He may have been looking for forgiveness, but he only found failure as Jimmy Shane ready to try and put the final nail in the coffin for Matthew Taylor.
But Jimmy has to go in for the kill. Oh, wait. Matthew Taylor pulling on referee. Oh, my God.
How much punishment can one man's area take?
Almost, I think, more than anything, now that you say that. Oh, wait. He got it.
And Jimmy Shane taking advantage.
The winner of the match, no shame, Jimmy Shane.
I was about to say that Matthew Taylor did that to try to humiliate Jimmy Shane more than anything, but it's now Matthew Taylor with egg on his face.
And Matthew Taylor whacking Jimmy Shane in the head with the bad book.
And now, there is something demented in the head of Matthew Taylor.
There's so many demented things in the head of Matthew Taylor. He just said he tried to do it the easy way. Before in a weird way, I think Jimmy Shane has gained the respect of Matthew Taylor. Taylor didn't want anything to do with Jimmy Shane except as an example. Now he wants to convert him.
Jimmy Shane, you know, if Matthew Taylor was laser focused on Jimmy Shane before, even more so now.
You said there was egg on his face. I think his eggs are scrambled.
It's a good way to look at it.
Forget your brain on drugs. This is your brain on the guiding light.
No. Don't go anywhere, Matt. This has been going on way too long. I had you beat the first time, and you left. I had you beat this time, and you had to attack me after the match. You want me to join you? You guys think I should join the guiding light?
I do not.
Do you guys want the guiding light to leave VCW? So how about on December 11th, contract versus contract?
What?
If you win, I'll join the gospel of the light. But when I win, Matthew Taylor leaves VCW once and for all. If you guys want to see that, how about right now you start chanting, lights out.
What a challenge by Jimmy Shane.
Keep it off. I don't want to hear from him.
Typical gospel. He's running his mouth, but he ain't saying nothing. You know, Jimmy, it's okay that I'm a forgiving man, because I forgive your insults. I forgive your disobedience. These idiots will chant anything you ask them to do because they're mindless fools. That's why they need me. They need the gospel. They need the congregation. They need their guiding light, Matthew Taylor. And on December 11th, I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to beat you. I'm going to humble you. And you're going to take my hand, and I'm going to show you the way, child.
The stakes could not be higher on December 11th. Jimmy Shane against Matthew Taylor. Matthew Taylor's career against the obedience, the loving submission of Jimmy Shane.
That is going to be one to watch.
We are finishing up the first half of 5-Day Friday. Hashtag VCW on Fight, but don't go anywhere. We have a huge main event in store. We've got that 6-man tag, Saturday Night Special, and Mad Dog Myers against Mount, Kilpis, and Beastman. We've got Tommy Irish against Izzy Lambert for the final spot in the VCW Heavyweight Championship Tournament. We've got Nathan Aulridge in action. He's already qualified for that tournament. We're going to get to see the first time since we have seen the Deplorables disappear.
It's going to be
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're having a good time so far, right?
a great rest of the card tonight, as well as looking forward to December 11th.
Including your main event, a big 6-man tag team match when the Beastman teams up with Mount Kilpis against Saturday Night Special and Mad Dog Myers. Now join me, if you will, and make a big round of applause for the Commissioner of Victory Championship Wrestling, Nicholas West.
We're about to hear from the Knick himself, Commissioner Nicholas West, the busiest man in professional wrestling. The amount that he is doing back there, he is printing flyers, he's making programs, he's doing social media, and now he's going to make an announcement.
And definitely has probably one of the hardest tasks of anyone I know, and that's wrangling everyone on the roster here at VCW, with how insane things have gotten tonight, especially.
It's not an easy job to be a professional wrestling commissioner, but the Knick does it.
How's everybody doing tonight? First
because right now we are trending on Fight TV. I just have a couple announcements before we go to intermission. First off, our 50-50 raffle right now is over $250. So if you want a shot to win $125, you want to sign up right now. You already did. But coming up, our next show will be on December 11th, Road to Victory, where we will crown our first ever VCW Heavyweight Champion. That night we will have a tournament, and at the end we will crown that winner. We will also have a tag team tables match with the Wise Guys taking on the Rad Boys. And today, I have another special announcement. I got a phone call from the doctors and the person themselves, 100%. She will be here that night, Super Oprah! Now, we have some special offers for our fans. We are going to partner with the Salvation Army on December 11th. So if you bring a toy to donate to the Salvation Army, you will save $3 off your ticket entry. You also have a chance tonight to save some money on your tickets by buying in advance, where you can get a front row ticket tonight for only $18. So again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you all for coming tonight. I can't wait to see you tonight. I can't wait to see what happens for the rest of the show. And I can't wait to see you all on December 11th at Road to Victory.
Well, what a big announcement for Road to Victory. Not just the VCW Heavyweight Title Tournament. We have the tables match between the Rise Guys and the Rad Boys. That feud looking to be settled on December 11th.
The Wise Guys broke my heart when they did something unspeakable to Rad Rex. We're going to head to intermission. We will be back in 15 minutes for the second half of our event. Please don't miss it. Come back, join us, be here for the main event, and use the hashtag VCW on Fight.
And a former stalwart of the Deplorables, but this is our first time seeing Nathan Aulridge here at VCW since the events of War Games.
Yeah, the Deplorables ran roughshod over VCW for the better part of a year. I truly thought they had the makings of a very long-standing group, but unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on your perspective, once they reached defeat in War Games, the Deplorables appear to be no more, all gone their separate ways.
But Nathan Aulridge, it's clear also, one thing hasn't changed as he gets into it with the fans here in McMecken. He has got a chip on his shoulder.
Crafty and cantankerous is no good Nathan Aulridge, who says that forget just no good deed, nothing goes unpunished from him.
Already infuriated.
Wrestling out of 7 Mile, Detroit, Michigan, weighing in at 210 pounds, Colton Quinn.
Barely a year into his professional wrestling career, this is the biggest test as a singles competitor Colton Quinn has had.
Colton Quinn, both in the sense of how tenured Nathan Aulridge is in that fact that you just mentioned that it is his biggest challenge, but also that he's going up against somebody who's already qualified for the VCW Heavyweight Championship Tournament. A win over Nathan Aulridge here could make Colton Quinn an immediate player in VCW.
In pre-match conversation that took place on our social media, Nathan Aulridge basically said to Colton Quinn, "Who are you? I've never heard of you." I think that Nathan Aulridge thinks of this as effectively a warm-up match, and that means that Colton Quinn can't do anything but impress.
Nathan Aulridge already giving the business to the crowd in McMecken. We're not even a minute into this matchup.
I would say that Nathan Aulridge woke up in a bad mood, but I'm pretty sure he was born in a bad mood. I'm pretty sure he was in bad mood in the womb. I'm pretty sure his parents were in a bad mood when they conceived. Basically, it goes right to the root for Nathan Aulridge.
Sometimes it's just in your DNA. And
Just
Nathan Aulridge
baked inside
exemplified
of him.
that. But Colton Quinn, as you mentioned, in singles competition here, he's come off of a tag team victory in the past here at VCW.
We've seen Colton Quinn pull off a huge upset in tag team action. The stage may be set for Colton Quinn to do the same against Nathan Aulridge, who may be looking past Quinn, as Aulridge has already qualified for the VCW Heavyweight Championship Tournament, which we will see here live on pay-per-view on Fight TV in December. And there, a roll-up by Colton Quinn.
Almost got Nathan Aulridge there, and that would have been a big upset.
You want to talk about a bad mood, apocalyptically bad mood. Nathan Aulridge already freaking out.
But Nathan Aulridge, we mentioned his sort of temper, but has been very quiet in terms of what has happened with the deplorables and Patrick Hayes throwing them to the wayside.
Yeah, well, when mommy and daddy are fighting, sometimes the kids stay quiet, and we don't know exactly what the words have been between Wilbur Whitlock and Patrick Hayes. Patrick Hayes has certainly been very vocal about the end of the deplorables, and Nathan Aulridge may just be trying to put the past behind him.
And I think also Nathan Aulridge, definitely a type of competitor and type of man, so to speak, that doesn't want anyone in this audience to know that things are getting under his skin.
No, the pain inside, the breakup of his wrestling family, he's going to take out all of that aggression, sublimating it, if you will, from what I've learned in therapy, on Colton Quinn.
People should try it. You'll learn a lot.
You won't end up like Nathan Aulridge, that's for sure.
And look at Nathan Aulridge, just the smirk on his face as he works down here on Colton Quinn. As you said, only a year in the wrestling business.
Just trying to wear down Colton Quinn is Nathan Aulridge. I'm not sure that Aulridge expected anything, so Colton Quinn in some ways has already over-delivered compared to what Aulridge expected. Though the rest of us, we all know Colton Quinn has all the makings of a top-notch prospect in professional wrestling. Nice
series of arm drags there, and a big drop kick right into the jaw. Nice elevation, so athletic is Colton Quinn.
Colton Quinn, a year in this good. Just imagine, prognosticate into the future. The sky's the limit for Colton Quinn.
Nathan Aulridge checking that he has all his teeth still in his mouth. But can't get distracted too much by this audience here at McMecken.
If one thing has ever maybe been a thorn in the side of Nathan Aulridge, it's been his absolute obsession with commanding respect from competitors, from teammates, from the audience. It sometimes sidelines his focus, this perceived lack of respect for a veteran.
The thumbs right into the eye sockets of Colton Quinn. Just absolutely vicious by no good Nathan Aulridge.
If you can't see, you can't fly off the top rope. I mean, you can, but you'll
try,
probably miss. It won't go well.
That's a great way to land face first into the mat, but Nathan Aulridge now hooking up Colton. Ooh, and just driving him hard into the mat. That sort of old school style of Nathan Aulridge.
A real throwback is Nathan Aulridge. Nothing pretty, he says. No good, no friends, no problem.
Oh, and just drives his elbow right into the chest.
Who is he yelling at?
Whoever
he's
can.
Yelling into the void.
Kick out there by Colton Quinn. And maybe it's also what Nathan Aulridge, his sort of disdain for Colton Quinn comes from the sort of generational element as well. The fact that Nathan Aulridge is sort of enriched in sort of that old school style, and Colton Quinn sort of a star for the future.
Nathan Aulridge, I hope, as they say, you go to the pay window if you win. If he wins the title, I really hope that he affords some anger management. It would be a very good investment. I don't know about for his professional wrestling career, but as a man, as a human.
Nathan Aulridge.
He's got problems.
A lot of problems.
A lot of issues. Not a healthy man in the head.
Somehow more issues than Matthew Taylor, who we saw earlier, I would even argue.
Well, Matthew Taylor's just a creep.
And now just choking Colton Quinn on that bottom rope. Quinn has to find a way to get out of the pocket here. He's been really grounded by Nathan Aulridge in this contest.
Showing why He is a veteran with all the experience, with all the tricks, with all the tenacity that comes with it, is Nathan Aulridge. But Colton Quinn looking to fight out from the undersized expectations Aulridge had for him. And now Colton Quinn looking to steal almost a huge underdog victory for Colton Quinn.
And going for a cover again.
Better positioning this time, more weight distributed across the chest.
And almost maybe an attempt to try to tire out Nathan Aulridge more than anything.
And a more unorthodox style of hooking the leg, going around almost like a lock.
Now back into the cover after that snap suplex.
Great perseverance by Quinn, beginning to wear down as we see Aulridge grabbing that knee. The wear and tear on the body for Nathan Aulridge, being in wrestling so long compared especially to Colton Quinn. He's barely gone around the block.
Big leg drop there by Colton. Has Nathan Aulridge right where he wants him.
Those short leg drops still sort of taking the temperature of Nathan Aulridge.
Now Colton thinking of maybe going up that top turnbuckle and thinking something aerial.
How does it position Colton Quinn for the future if he defeats a competitor who has already qualified for the VCW heavyweight tournament?
I got to imagine. Oh! Big senton.
Smack in the sternum, perfect positioning, and Colton Quinn looks very surprised that that wasn't the silver bullet through Nathan Aulridge.
I mean, Colton did everything right there. The way he landed onto Nathan Aulridge with that senton, and also the way he snatched those legs to get all the pressure down on his shoulders, but it was still not enough to put away Nathan Aulridge.
Colton has been doing everything right. You saw him eyeing Aulridge like prey, trying to go for that stunner and forced his way into it.
But Aulridge, either out of desperation or without even thinking about it, rolling to the outside, and Colton Quinn not able to capitalize.
Regardless of intent, very effective this match. Well, it certainly can end on the outside, but only by a 10 count. And Colton Quinn, not even testing it, wants to roll Aulridge in and try and put him away like a man of honor.
But Colton can't waste too much time. Oh, I think Nathan Aulridge ran again to the eyes of Colton Quinn.
Another eye poke. No good deeds. Academic for Nathan Aulridge.
The winner of the match, no good, Nathan Aulridge.
Colton Quinn putting up a great fight here.
But it certainly did not go unpunished by Nathan Aulridge.
And Nathan Aulridge, not just sending a message to Colton Quinn, but to the entire VCW locker room and to the other men in this VCW Heavyweight Championship tournament.
We almost know everyone who has qualified for the tournament, but there is still a mystery. There is still a slot yet to be decided. But guess what? You're not going to have to wait long. I'm not going to have to wait long. Eamon's not going to have to wait long. You know why? Because that match is coming up next as Tommy Irish and Izzy Lambert do battle to fill out the field.
I got to say, either of these men, depending on who qualifies, could be the favorite in this tournament, I got to say. Tommy Irish, Izzy Lambert, I think some
You
of
got
them.
a lot of favorites. Hedging your bets? I'm going to put you on the spot. Let's say of the people who have already qualified, who do you think is the actual favorite?
You know what? Honestly, of these
People are
two,
going to listen to this.
Of these two, Tommy Irish has been really making a name for himself as of late as part of the Wise Guys. They've been dominating in VCW. And Izzy Lambert, even though he suffered that loss in that casket match at our last event, we have heard a lot from Izzy about a new Izzy Lambert that we're going to see tonight. And if he can channel that new energy, he could be the favorite in the tournament.
There's a lot on the line as Tommy Irish and Izzy Lambert will go one-on-one. And then, of course, we've got our huge six-man main event. Let's take it back to the ring.
Scheduled for one fall, brought to you by DWC Construction. Introducing first, representing the Wise Guys, and fighting out of Chicago, Illinois, weighing in tonight at 285 pounds, brutal Tommy Irish.
We already heard it announced that coming up in December, Tommy Irish has got a tag team match on the docket, but that doesn't mean he can't do double duty. Tommy Irish could be going into two separate matches as a part of the tournament and in the tables match. Tommy Irish trying to do battle in both the singles and tag team divisions. That is biting a lot off.
But I mean, Tommy Irish has been running roughshod through the competition in this company along with Gino DiCapo and as a part of the Wise Guys. You know, that tables match that you mentioned, the way they've gotten the better of the Rad Boys over and over again, putting them through tables, and I hate to bring up again, but what they did to Rad Rex.
Rad in peace, Rad Rex, the dinosaur we barely knew, sadly, maybe spending time in the tar pit.
And his opponent, from Cleveland, Ohio, weighing in at 240 pounds, Izzy Lambert.
VCW, a very dangerous place for the animal kingdom. We have seen the untimely demise of both a dinosaur and a possum on my watch, and I just don't know that I have a lot more of it in me.
There's a lot of just brutal attacks on animals in this company. I mean, Nicholas
really
West,
upsetting.
Nicholas West has a lot on his plate, but maybe that's something you should focus on.
I think it's a priority, yes. Izzy Lambert about to make his way, and this is a bit of a make good for Izzy. Izzy lost a qualifying match to be a part of this tournament. It was a casket match against Remy LaVey, but our commissioner, the Knick, Nicholas West, knew that it was an unfair situation when the two druids, the dark priests that were meant to be there, hired specifically, they came with the casket. It's part of the deal. You rent a casket, you get dark priests. They were just supposed to open and close the casket, and instead, it turned out to be Malakai, Gage, and Christian Noir. So, since that wasn't a fair ending, we can't redo the match, but we can give Izzy Lambert another chance.
Honestly, I think that's a great move by Nicholas West. So egregious what the Origin did to Izzy Lambert in that contest. But as I mentioned before, Izzy Lambert has said, following that matchup, that we are going to see a whole new Izzy Lambert going forward here at VCW. He says the old Izzy Lambert is still in that casket.
Let's not underplay this. Izzy Lambert was literally placed in a casket, forced to look figurative death in the face. What does that do to a man?
Izzy Lambert has got to have a whole new mindset. And honestly, if you're going to talk about somebody who's put people on the brink of death, no better competitor to face off against than Tommy Irish.
Yes. Allegedly, Tommy Irish has maybe forced a few people to pay some protection. Allegedly. It's part of the family.
Well, and also we don't know exactly what happened to Rad Rex, but we can only assume based off of the Wise Guys' tactics.
As Izzy Lambert biting the forehead. This is a very different Izzy Lambert.
Tommy Irish came charging in but got a boot for his troubles from Izzy, and now Tommy, big sidewalk slam. Tommy Irish, so powerful in that ring.
Tommy Irish has really impressed me lately, especially as part of the Wise Guys. The thing, every match is so high stakes for the Wise Guys because failure could mean he sleeps with the fishes. I mean, he's got to report back about what happens in these matches. That is a lot of motivation. I'm not saying his life is on the line, but I'm saying his life may be on the line.
Tommy Irish, but maybe getting a little distracted by the audience here because Izzy Lambert is no slouch in that ring, and Tommy Irish, if he wants to make it into this tournament, he can't take Izzy lightly.
Tommy Irish trying to join the likes of Fulton, Jason Kincaid, Remy LaVey. Let's not lose sight of that. This isn't just about a spot in the tournament for Izzy Lambert. This is the only way for Izzy to get another shot at Remy. It's to win and then hope he meets LaVey in the tournament.
I think that's such a good point.
Can't look past Tommy Irish, though. Big man with a big frame. Hard to see past him even if you tried.
And now Tommy just using all of that weight to choke out Izzy Lambert there on the ropes.
This is a real proving match for Tommy Irish. We've seen Irish in singles competition before, but always accompanied by the evil super genius of professional wrestling, Ripper Blackheart, or wait, now choking Izzy Lambert, his partner, Gino DiCapo. This is actually, for the first time, Tommy Irish truly going it on his own. He's doing a very good job.
Oh, until then, Miscalculation by Tommy Irish, and now Izzy Lambert.
Felt that all the way up my body, and it does not feel good.
Firing in with clotheslines. Izzy gonna eye up. Ooh, Tommy Irish, and with a big clothesline in the corner, gonna follow with a bulldog.
In the past, Izzy Lambert had been known as the brightest star, but instead, he looks more like a dark star trying to put out Tommy Irish like a black hole, but Irish continues to fight.
Izzy trying to get this audience here in McMecken to help, you know, power him forward in this contest.
Izzy Lambert, we have watched as Lambert has become a more serious, better, more focused professional wrestler. We've seen Lambert grow, but can we see him win?
I think Tommy Irish tried for a discus lariat, but a headbutt by Izzy Lambert takes the big man down.
Izzy Lambert was less than a second away from joining the field of competitors. You will be able to see the tournament. You will be able to see the first VCW heavyweight champion crowned live on pay-per-view on Fight TV on December 11th.
Izzy, shot to the gut, stunner. Tommy Irish able to fight it off. There's the discus lariat.
Tommy Irish about to put Izzy Lambert away, and Tommy Irish a hair's breadth away from doing double duty at the pay-per-view.
Irish almost pleading with our official. For more, I think for those exact same reasons that you mentioned earlier.
Just peppering the side of Izzy's skull with rights, and now, almost in frustration, going for a cover.
It's that desperation. He doesn't want to have to answer to the higher-ups.
Working man willing to work for it. Tommy Irish now maybe needing to, I don't know, decompress? Wait, what's he doing? This is not a no disqualification match, in case you were wondering.
I mean, Tommy Irish and the Wise Guys in general just willing to break all the rules. I mean, they got themselves disqualified at our last event.
They killed a dinosaur. They killed the last dinosaur. Maybe Denver is still out there, but it was Rad Rex and Denver. Barney's days are well behind him. And
Izzy Lambert striking Tommy Irish right on the top of the head. And could this be?
It is Twisted Easter.
Hook of the leg.
And the field is set.
The winner of the match and qualifying for the VCW Heavyweight Championship Tournament, Izzy Lambert.
And now we know all the men who will be fighting in December for a chance to be the champ. Nathan Aulridge, Jason Kincaid, Fulton, Damian Chambers, Remy LaVey, Cowpoke Paul, Izzy Lambert, and as we saw earlier today, Andrew Palace.
What a field that is. There are so many that could pull it out and make history as the VCW Heavyweight Champion. I gotta say, now that we look at the field,
who's your favorite? You gotta pick one.
You know, I gotta say my money's gotta be on Andrew Palace. I'm saying it right now. I'm putting it on record. It's on tape.
Palace is a great choice. I think it's really difficult to bet against people like Fulton or Kincaid, but I gotta go with my heart. I gotta go with the Yeehaw Kid. I want Cowpoke Paul to go all the way.
We love an underdog.
We love a belt on a cowboy. You know what I mean? No better studded buckle than that gold. But coming up next, it is our main event, that 6-man tag. Two rivalries mashed together as Mad Dog Myers and Saturday Night Special go up against Mount Kilpis and the Beastman.
I mean, what we talked about what happened to Rad Rex. I mean, think of what Saturday Night Special did to Paulie Kilpis's prize possum
on Father's Day
of all days.
They beheaded a possum on Father's Day.
It's been absolute war between these 6 competitors, and it is absolutely going to play out in that ring tonight in our main event.
We appreciate you joining us here on VCW, and it is time now for our main event coming up very soon. Saturday Night Special, that is Dee Dee Vice and Marcus Twist going up against Mount Kilpis. And have you ever had a Kilpis hug?
I haven't been. I've heard great things about the Kilpis hug. I have.
You've heard great things.
How bad can a hug be?
Oh, you'll find out.
Oh, God.
4-8-4.
Well, I'm
I
gonna
will
break. I'm gonna
straight up push you in the path. You ever heard of paying your dues, my friend? Amen.
Is this how it gets done?
In commentary, absolutely.
Well, I'm fully awaiting the hug from Paulie Kilpis, and I'm awaiting for the Beastman and Mad Dog Myers to collide finally in that ring. They've been at each other,
At each other's throats.
and it's going to be such an intense matchup between those two. Mad Dog Myers has wanted a big man to really square off against. He's going to get in the Beastman.
Mad Dog Myers has been hosting the Big Man Extravaganza. Mad Dog Myers believes himself to be a giant killer. Myers had gone through so many big men here in VCW and then challenged the Beastman, who basically laughed Myers off. What happens when you piss off a rabid dog? They come biting. And Mad Dog Myers laid Beastman out in the back.
It's going to be such an intense matchup. You're not going to want to miss it. Thank you guys so much for joining us so far here tonight on our debut on Fight TV, getting us to trend here on Fight TV.
We appreciate it.
We hope you're hashtagging everything that you're seeing tonight, VCW on Fight. We love to hear your feedback, and we can't wait for December 11th when we'll be back here on Fight TV, and we're going to crown our first VCW heavyweight champion.
First ever VCW champion. It's going to be one of 8 competitors. Again, I'm hoping for the Cowpoke. DD Vice, Marcus Twist going up against the Hillbilly Shooter, Ganon Green, and Paulie Kilpis, along with Beastman in this main event. They've done so much damage to Mount Kilpis. Cost Paulie Kilpis a shot at War Games.
I mean, Saturday Night Special, I think we talk a lot about egos in pro wrestling. We've talked about a lot about egos in terms of the competitors we've seen so far tonight. None more high than Marcus Twist and DD Vice of Saturday Night Special.
Yeah, they're scumbags, basically. And
they're proud of it.
They're very proud of it. They're very, very proud of it. They have basically said they are here for Jaeger bombs and hot moms, and wrestling is a mean to an end for hot moms.
Well, the Hot Moms in McMecken are going to get a treat apparently tonight in our main event. 6-man tag team match just shortly, but not just the VCW heavyweight title tournament on December 11th. The return of Super Oprah, we know.
Super Oprah has been out of action since the match against Fulton. Fulton, the monster, absolutely decimated Super Oprah. Super Oprah not even able to continue the fight, but Super Oprah will be back, and Fulton will be in the building. That is going to be combustible elements going up against each other.
And not to mention that as well, the tables match between the Wise Guys and the Rad Boys, Matthew Taylor versus Jimmy Shane, contract versus contract.
We have a chance for revenge for Rex. I don't know. I got to be clear with you. You may not understand. The Rad Boys, they have a mascot. They had a mascot. We don't know what happened. There was a dinosaur I loved. A dinosaur I loved like a cousin I had never talked to before, but found out existed because of a strange marriage to a second cousin. It doesn't matter. I loved him, and I think he is sleeping in a tar pit thanks to the Wise Guys.
Well, I believe we're going to go up now. It's now time for what we've all been waiting for, the big main event, the 6-man tag team matchup. Get yourself together. We got a big matchup to call.
Wow and wonderful. You guys have been wonderful tonight. Are you ready to get wild? Are you ready for your main event? Your main event of the evening is a 6-man tag team grudge match. Introducing first, weighing in at 25 racks of PBR. They're the best boys at Applebee's Bar and Grill. The sweet and sassy son of the Indies, Marcus Twist. The hit and pretty kid, DD Vice. Saturday Night Special.
A Saturday Night Special makes their way to the ring.
Don't you get the smell of Axe body spray in the room?
Well, it's hard to smell it over the Jaeger. It's pretty putrid.
Marcus Twist and DD Vice.
DD Vice, your mother's favorite wrestler and your future stepfather.
And almost a dejected look on their face. I know on good authority that they've been incredibly upset about this matchup tonight, simply from the fact that they're missing out on free appetizers at Applebee's on Fridays.
Well, it doesn't help that they're going up against Beastman. In that respect, they may have bitten off a fight that they can't chew. Beastman is a very, very tough draw on the best of days.
Marcus Twist,
the sweet and sassy son of the Independents.
And DD Vice, calls himself a MILF Slayer.
Yeah, sour scum DD Vice right there.
But we mentioned it, the torment that they have been putting out Kilpis through for months here at VCW.
They have just constantly owned Mount Kilpis at every turn. We'll see if tonight is any difference, because Mount Kilpis has the biggest backup, and that's what's attracted Mad Dog Myers to this particular competition. What is happening?
I can't believe if DD Vice is really upset about the pool of water in the ring. I can't be the dirtiest thing that he's been involved in.
Pennsylvania, weighing in at 230 pounds, Mad Dog, Zack Myers.
Rabid, mean, nasty, prowling and territorial, chain always in hand. Mad Dog Myers is looking to put someone's lights out.
Myers coming into this matchup infuriated, fuming after his big man extravaganza that he's been having for months here at VCW, came to a very anticlimactic ending for him when he lost the match to Sean.
Listen, I didn't miss out on Applebee's on a Friday night to have everyone here in McChicken, West Virginia, being extremely disrespectful to the three of us, the three best guys in this company. You're all lucky that you're even here right now.
I missed out on a chance to do cocaine off of a stripper's ass at Jill's, to come here to entertain you dorks.
I genuinely wondered if he was going to say Applebee's, and I wondered how much Applebee's had changed since I stopped going.
Oh my God. First night on Fight. What a night.
Applebee's, they fry the soup.
You know what, boys? I'm feeling your pain. These people, they disrespect us every single show.
And why would you possibly go to Applebee's when you go to our sponsor, Outback Steakhouse of St. Clairsville?
Thank you.
We're unappreciated. Some have even called us the worst generation. I tell you what, I'm going to give these people one more chance. We're going to walk back to the back. Shut your mouth while I'm talking. We're going to walk back through that curtain. They're going to play our music again, and I better hear each and every single one of you cheer.
I've heard better sales pitches from Matthew Taylor.
Come on, boys.
And that's saying something. But Mad Dog, Zack Myers, I think this whole show that he's giving right now to get a proper introduction, I think it's just embarrassment of what Beastman did to him, costing him that match at our last event, costing him, his big man extravaganza.
Mad Dog Myers, a very good professional wrestler, not a particularly good person at winning over the hearts and minds of other people. Not necessarily someone who knows how to make friends and influence.
Coming to the ring.
We're really doing this again?
At a combined weight of 25 racks of PBR.
What?
The baddest boys at Applebee's Bar and Grill. The sweet and sassy son of Indy's Marcus Twist. The hidden Quinn Kid, DD Vice. They are Saturday Night Special. And their tag team partner from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Weighing 230 pounds. Mad Dog, Zack.
Just to be clear, Applebee's is not a sponsor.
They couldn't promote a Bloomin' Onion, apparently. But that's too much for Saturday Night Special to at least do something on behalf of us here at VCW. And now, oh God, more time to just hit on the women here in McMecken.
I'm so sorry. I'm just absolutely flummoxed by this strategy of this is how we'll get them to like us. We'll talk about how much badly we want all-you-can-eat appetizers.
The only thing I can think of from a strategic standpoint, if it's not just the overwhelming arrogance of these men, is that it might be getting in the head of their opponents, particularly Kilpis, who has been chomping at the bit to get their hands on Saturday Night Special. That's the only way I can think of doing this would be of a smart strategy.
And their opponents. First from Mount Kilpis, at a combined weight of 600 big rocks, the Appalachian Oddity Paulie Kilpis, the Hillbilly Shooter Ganon Green, they are Mount Kilpis!
All right, man, welcome to the business, kid. It's about to happen.
Oh, jeez.
Mount Kilpis making their way to the ring. Paulie Kilpis already starting the hugs. Legitimately. Once saw him hug every single person. No. God, no. God, no. Get him. He's new. He's new. He's new. Are you satisfied? You're not satisfied. Hi, Paulie. Hi. Okay. Ganon, please get him under control.
I don't know what your problem is. That wasn't that bad.
No, it wasn't.
The Appalachian Oddity, Paulie
Nicholas
Kilpis.
West, you owe me hazard pay.
And Ganon Green. Better get all the hugs out of the way, though, because they're going to have a tough test ahead of them in this matchup.
Hey, you want to hear a true story?
Sure.
Ganon Green was out in the mountains one day where he found a man, brought him back home, trained him to be a wrestler, and named him Paulie Kilpis, and now they're a tag team.
You know, I heard about this. I feel like that we need way more details about how that came about.
Do we? Do we need more details, or is it better to just let it ride? Because honestly, that's enough for me.
Ganon Green taking Paulie Kilpis under his...
Here's the CCW International Champion and the Village Wrestling Grand Champion from deepest, darkest West Virginia, weighing in tonight at 499 pounds, the Stone Age Savage, Beastman!
If you ever wondered how weird the woods of West Virginia are, just on this event alone, we've had a Bearcat, we've had a Kilpis, and now we have ourselves a Stone Age Savage.
The way the audience here in McMecken roared at the name Beastman tells you all you need to know about the type of competitor and the force that Beastman is in VCW.
Beastman, more than a man, more than a beast, a legend here in West Virginia. Came from the woods, became a professional wrestler, and has conquered the last decade plus. The camera doesn't do him justice. This is a massive monster, and there's the hug.
Paulie Kilpis, I think, the only man who can get away with hugging a beast like Beastman.
The only one who can soothe the savage beast, Paulie Kilpis. What a team of thick boys this is.
This is a hoss fight like we've ever seen it here in VCW.
Team is tougher than stale jerky.
Beastman, a fighter in every sense of the word. I think back to the War Games match, him bleeding ear to ear and fighting with such valiant effort and able to put away the deplorables.
Holding the CCW championship, holding the Voltage Grand Championship. I also commentate for Voltage Pro Wrestling out of Maryland, West Virginia, and I can tell you, Beastman has cut a swath of destruction in multiple territories. This ring could collapse under the weight of this match.
Now, do you think that Mad Dog Zack Myers might be having some second thoughts?
I don't. Actually, legitimately, I don't. I think Mad Dog Myers is a lot of things. What was that?
The roof has come off
Wait,
the building here in McMecken.
I thought it was the ring that was going to collapse, but it was actually the ceiling. Actually,
Oh, God.
that's...
Paulie's got handfuls of roof.
It's legitimately terrifying.
No, Paulie, don't eat it. Don't eat it. Don't eat it.
Remember, he found him in a mountain. He didn't have a name. He brought him home and trained him to become a pro wrestler. So, you know, you get what you pay for.
Oh, God. DD Vice. This has already turned into an absolutely chaotic main event, more than we could even imagine.
In my career in VCW, I have called a match on a playground. I've called a match in a swimming pool. But, boy, I never thought I'd call the ceiling collapsing in on us. Did I mention that we are in the edges of a hurricane?
Beastman. I don't think there can be more dangerous than Beastman, but Beastman with a broom.
You've seen the world's strongest slam. But, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to see the world's strongest sweep.
Oh, my God. Oh, Jesus.
Those are his partners.
Beastman almost made this a 2-on-3 handicap match.
Beastman does not like menial labor. Beastman came to fight, not clean. Just let him clean, guys. Please.
How, you know, a beast with enough respect to clean up after himself.
Usually we see this kind of detritus after a hardcore match. This is straight up before. Like, where do we go from here? This match has yet to start.
Saturday Night Special and Mad Dog Zack Myers, I think, have just been completely thrown off their game before the bell is even rung in this matchup.
Well, listen, I have a lot of negative things to say about those three sometimes, but I think it's completely reasonable for them to have no idea what to do in this situation. Just remember, they could have been at Applebee's.
Paulie, Ganon, I feel bad for Ganon more than anyone in this matchup.
I feel bad for Ganon all the time. Ganon Green is a legitimate collegiate wrestler with incredible credentials and the patience of a saint.
Actually, maybe more than Ganon Green. I feel really terrible for a referee having to get control of this.
Why is Paulie Kilpis trying to do a double leg on Beastman?
You know, Paulie Kilpis was a man who offered his own services in War Games to be the fourth man in this matchup.
I've always had ethical issues with when Paulie Kilpis hugs the referee, though. Legitimately, does that not balance of power and things like that?
Conflict of interest?
Yeah, conflict of interest. Thank you.
Our referees are some of the best in the business, I'll tell you that. I mean, with all they've had to deal with tonight, let alone.
Beastman extending an invitation to Saturday Night Special and Mad Dog Myers is this main event. Hashtag VCW on Fight. You heard about the night they danced atop the ECW arena. What about the night the ceiling collapsed on Logan Street?
And look at this square off here. Beastman and Zack Myers going to start this thing off. This has been, I think, the battle we've been waiting for months.
Zack Myers bringing in DD Vice, and DD Vice maybe looking a little nonplussed about that decision.
Zack Myers going to not just make Beastman wait, but make this audience wait.
Your future stepfather. Specifically you, Eamon.
Mine?
Yes, actually, I have been told that DD Vice is your mother's favorite wrestler, and
I need
he's
to get
looking to make that more.
I need to give my mom a call. But look at DD Vice. I think very smart here. He's wanting Beastman to tag in Paulie Kilpis.
When hugs go violent, the Paulie Kilpis story. Paulie Kilpis has been put through the ringer by Saturday Night Special. Legitimately, the terrible things they have done to this man, including beheading his pet possum Bo on Father's Day in front of me. One of the most traumatic moments of my life, let alone let alone Paulie Kilpis.
Where does Saturday Night Special get off? I mean, I get there.
At Applebee's.
Okay, I walked into that one.
Or Geo's, apparently.
But, you know, they can go to Applebee's. They can, you know, mac on as many women as they want here in McMecken. But to do that to Bo.
I have to interject just because I am being told through my headset, no matter what else is happening, we have been assured it is not black mold. So that's good.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Oh, nice arm drag there by Paulie Kilpis.
He's been trained in one trade his entire adult life, and that is professional wrestling, as Ganon Greed looks on like a proud papa to an Appalachian cryptid.
What is Paulie doing?
Oh, no. Oh, no. Okay, not coming this way.
Oh, thank God.
Thank goodness. See, I told you. Why? What is happening? Paulie Kilpis has entered into the concessions area, and Paulie Kilpis has come out.
And he's got a hot dog.
Hey.
Mid-match snack, apparently, for Paulie Kilpis.
If he gives you a handshake, that's your payoff for the day, kid.
Oh, God.
He just stole from you.
Is this how we're going to do this?
I think he just stole your envelope.
Paulie Kilpis. And now...
That hot dog was earmarked for you, Eamon.
I'm more concerned. Beastman just cleaned up this ring from the roof that fell. And now we're going to get hot dog in the ring.
All you get is a hug. You were going to get a hot dog and a hug, and now you just get the hug.
Some things never change. Oh, DD Vice.
All right, let's be clear. That is not the worst thing DD Vice has had in his mouth. Self-admittedly.
DD Vice.
You do not mess with a man's hot dog. You don't mess with a man's payday.
I think Paulie may be more offended with the hot dog than what happened to Bo. He's infuriated.
Paulie Kilpis just absolutely taking it to the sour scum, DD Vice.
Tagging a Beastman.
Things are about to get a lot more serious.
This is not what DD Vice wants.
No, this is dangerous.
Immediately going to tag out the Marcus Twist.
The sweet and sassy son of the Independents going up against the Stone Age Savage. And Marcus Twist in no particular hurry for this particular fight.
Twist is not a slouch in that ring, but this is a mismatch of epic proportions. Marcus Twist want none of it.
That's the look of a man who realizes that he could have been eating all-you-can-eat appetizers at Applebee's.
Once again, VCW brought to you by Outback Steakhouse in St. Clairsville. Go check them out for all of our sake.
The entire team just regrouping, and they're being called chickens.
No, they want chicken. They can they want the boneless wings. They aren't. Whatever. It's
Listen,
fine.
The only way any of us are eating is if this match finishes. So let's get to the wrestle, Marcus.
Big collar and elbow tie up here.
Here we go.
And now Marcus Twist trying to wrench in on Beastman.
Trying to twist Beastman like a pretzel.
Bit of a fool's errand. Oh, Beastman. Shoulder tackle. And Marcus Twist already regretting stepping across the ring from Beastman.
Can't underestimate the intimidation factor of Beastman. Even if you've been around him, it's very different than being in the ring.
Eye to eye, nose to nose. Twist gonna try to get a rebound, but not enough to take down Beastman.
Nothing less than a beast, a lot more than a man. The Stone Age Savage really bringing the punishment to Marcus Twist, who decides that discretion may well be the better part of valor, and DD Vice really wants no part of it either.
I gotta think, you know, how are Saturday Night Special and Mad Dog Myers gonna get out of the box here if they can't take down someone like Beastman? If I'm Mount Kilpis.
Get out of the box, they can't even get out of the races. The two of them couldn't knock Beastman down.
And a massive collision there DD Vice still seeing stars. He thinks he's at Applebee's right now.
In many ways, every match against Beastman is a handicap match. Beastman, the size, the strength of a herd of elephants.
Oh, wait a minute. This cannot be good for Marcus Twist.
Remember earlier when I said Patrick Hayes coming at you would be scary? This is absolutely terrifying.
Oh, right into the heart. The black card of Marcus Twist.
And now finally, Mount Kilpis may be ready.
Oh, right into the armpit.
Yeah, he definitely doesn't shower.
Marcus Twist.
They have an outhouse. They definitely don't have a shower. That's rough.
Oh, what an uppercut there by Ganon Green. So explosive in that ring is Ganon. I think Ganon is one of the underrated stars of VCW.
Agreed completely. Taking him to Suplex Mountain.
And now,
which is adjacent to Mount Kilpis. Neighbors.
Oh my God, with the hip attack. Marcus Twist getting all of Ganon Green there in the corner.
Saturday Night Special, full of regrets, full of Jaeger, full of dashed hopes and dreams tonight here in McMecken, West Virginia.
Oh, low bridge there by Mad Dog Myers, taking Ganon to the outside.
And this is really the first we've seen Mad Dog Myers interject himself into this contest. And Mad Dog Myers is a heck of an insurance policy to have.
That clubbering blow right to the side of the head. Mad Dog Myers, I would say, one of the hardest strikers in VCW.
Mad Dog Myers has beaten Billy Knox, Ryder Reed, Paulie Kilpis, and the Bro Hemoth as part of his big man extravaganza. Now fish hooking Ganon Green. Absolutely vicious is Mad Dog Myers.
Tagging the DD Vice. You also got to think, in particularly with the case of Saturday Night Special and Mount Kilpis, we've been talking a lot about the VCW Heavyweight Title Tournament. We also do know that tag titles will soon be coming to VCW.
So far, Saturday Night Special are undefeated in all forms of competition against Mount Kilpis. We're looking to see if they can continue that streak tonight, the night the ceiling collapsed on Logan Street.
It'll go down in the history books. And DD Vice now with just a choke on Ganon Green and almost Beastman.
This trio knows that this is the opportunity. They cannot let Ganon Green tag Beastman. As long as Beastman,
oh, wait a minute.
Doesn't matter.
Beastman with a hold of the referee, but again,
that referee has taken his life into his own hands. I appreciate the dedication to the craft.
I do not envy our official here tonight whatsoever, as now Mad Dog working over Ganon Green in the corner. Mad Dog is a competitor who really will just be no nonsense, just beat you down and beat you down hard.
Serious as a heart attack is Mad Dog Myers, which makes a great compliment to this apparent worst generation of Mad Dog Myers. And now Marcus Twist has tagged in.
Ganon trying to fight back from a grounded position. Such a big man with like Ganon Green. Ooh, every shot feels like it's from two men.
And DD Vice, the strip club supernova. He makes me say this.
Trying to reach out for a tag is Ganon Green, but get nothing. This is exactly what Saturday Night Special and Mad Dog need to do. Cut the ring in half. Keep Ganon Green as far away from his corner as possible.
Ganon Green came in with so much momentum and unfortunately has been worn down 3-on-1, has been unable to make it. And Paulie Kilpis, this is the most serious I have ever seen Paulie watching his friend and mentor, and Kilpis is in.
Kilpis, I don't even know if DD Vice realizes it, but he's just facing a angry Paulie Kilpis, but Mad Dog Myers coming from behind with a shot. You know, we talk about the hugging of Paulie Kilpis, the lightheartedness of Paulie Kilpis, but when
we
he's
feel
in
the hugging of Paulie Kilpis too. We don't just have to talk about it, we experience it.
But when he's in a rage, when he's got something coming at him that just makes him so infuriated, oh, but Beastman.
I think Beastman just attacked our referee.
Our referee is giving a lot of discretion here to Beastman, but I mean,
no one wants to see this match end in a disqualification for sure, but you can only push your luck so far.
Paulie trying to fight back here the best he can. That headbutt, that big Appalachian headbutt.
The Appalachian cryptid with that very hard head going up against the Sour Scum, DD Vice, and now tagging in the Mad Dog Myers.
As you mentioned before, Mad Dog Myers with a victory over Paulie Kilpis, and a very quick one at that.
Extraordinarily quick. I mean, mere seconds. So Paulie Kilpis acquitting himself very well under these circumstances.
And now, what are they thinking here? Oh my God, just powering up Mad Dog Myers and dropping all of his weight right onto Paulie Kilpis.
Great awareness by Mad Dog Myers, and this is the very first time that this trio of Mad Dog and Saturday Night Special have come together, and they're already proving to be a very effective unit. And that poses a lot of danger here in VCW. We've seen the Origin form, another new trio.
You know, as successful as Saturday Night Special have been, there are a lot of teams waiting in the rings here at VCW to eye up possibly becoming the first ever VCW Tag Team Champions.
The Rad Boys and the Wise Guys at the top of that list, and they will do battle in December in a tables match.
But DD Vice stopping Paulie Kilpis, from getting a tag. And I think this is also, as Ganon Green comes in to break it up, this is also really smart to work down on Paulie. Definitely, I would say, the one that they're going to have the most chance to put away in this contest. No disrespect to Paulie, but
he's just a lovable soul. Paulie Kilpis, I think, is inherently nonviolent in a certain way, which just does put him at a disadvantage in pro wrestling. He's a very skilled competitor, but there's a killer instinct that Paulie Kilpis may not possess. But that goes out the window when you bite a man's skull and behead his possum. I mean, all bets are off.
The Mad Dog living up to his name. And now just frequent tags in between Mad Dog and Saturday Night Special, in and out, to work down on Paulie Kilpis, to beat him down, to break him.
There's only one way you deal with a rabid dog, and that's to put it down. And now, Paulie Kilpis
just absorbing those blows. Oh, what a shot!
A second win without even the benefit of his trademark moonshine.
Paulie looking for a tag. Oh, but falls short of tagging Beastman.
He tried so hard and got so far, but in the end, it did not matter.
It's very poetic.
I didn't write it. Ganon Green trying to wave Paulie Kilpis on, blowing some air. They're just desperately trying to reach over that rope.
If Paulie can just find it in him to reach up and tag in Beastman.
He's just got to lift his hand up. That's all he's got to do. There we go. Paulie, I believe that Paulie did tag the Beast. And there,
now in the view of the referee.
Definitively.
Beastman is just going to unload here with all of his unbridled rage here on Saturday Night Special. And Mad Dog Myers ducking out.
Like a bowling ball hitting pins. Saturday Night Special just going down and down and down. And not in the way that they had planned for the evening.
And now you have Marcus Twist up onto the shoulder. Oh, this can't be good.
Saturday Night Special, they are the 2-for-1 special. What? Beastman does not want to put away Saturday Night Special.
He's got his eyes on Mad Dog.
Beastman has a purpose. This isn't about winning this match. This is about winning this match against Mad Dog Myers.
Beastman scaling up to the top turnbuckle. This cannot be good for just about anyone.
Certainly not for DD Vice. Certainly not for Marcus Twist. They are regretting the choices that led them to this moment.
A flying Beastman here in McMecken.
A meteorite just landed on Saturday Night Special.
And now
Saturday night might be special, but for them, Friday night's been rotten.
DD Vice got it. Beastman.
That's your future stepfather. Show
Oh
some
my
respect.
God! Let's hope not. Let's hope not. I gotta give her a talking to. But no, Saturday Night Special.
I already bought the wedding present.
I'm gonna ignore you right now. But all 6 men in the ring right now, laying into one another. This is just breaking down.
Not in Tulsa. We are here in Macon, West Virginia for Victory Championship Wrestling Trios action here in our main event.
Now,
it is just a slugfest.
And now Saturday Night Special and Mad Dog got the Beastman and Mount Kilpis on the ropes. Reversal. Ooh, just collision and Marcus Twist.
Whatever the version of stereo is in threes, that's what just happened.
Marcus Twist, Mad Dog Myers, DD Vice in a precarious spot right now.
I think they're about to have their heads caved in.
Ganon Green came charging.
Cannonball by Kilpis.
And Beastman!
The sweetest, sassiest pancake in professional wrestling is Marcus Twist.
But the question is, can they capitalize? Tag it to Ganon Green.
As you said, Ganon Green, one of the most underrated members of the VCW roster. If anyone can put this away, it's good old Double G.
Oh, Ganon gets sent into Beastman. And now
it looks like Saturday Night Special might have been looking for hair of the dog.
Drives Ganon Green into the mat. DD Vice now on the top rope. Elbow right to the heart.
And Ganon Green may be...
They're relenting here on Ganon Green. No, they're giving it to Mad Dog. I don't know if this is a smart move by Saturday Night Special.
They are letting the Mad Dog take the scraps, and it is over. The Bad Generation.
Saturday Night Special and Mad Dog Zack Myers.
I think maybe, if anything, that was to appease Mad Dog's ego to continue his reputation as the biggest big man in VCW.
Beastman had a chance to win this one. He wanted Mad Dog Myers so badly, the Beastman got blinded, and instead, Saturday Night Special maintains their undefeated streak against Mount Kilpis, who simply cannot catch a break. I mean, we've seen it all. The ceiling, the sky literally fell, and yet Saturday Night Special still stands tall to try and find some hot moms in McMecken, West Virginia. I'm not kidding, I'm not being crass. That is their official mission statement.
Wait, Beastman in the ring. Saturday Night Special hightailing it. Oh God, Mad Dog doesn't realize what's behind him.
A dog may be bad, but a beast is much, much worse. And, yep, he's right behind me, isn't he?
Beastman, Zack Myers, eye to eye.
You'll note Beastman could have taken advantage of Myers when his back was turned, but Beastman's gonna hit you from the front.
Tried to whip him with that chain. Beastman with a hold, and Zack Myers powders out of the ring. And again, Beastman.
Myers doing the smart thing, getting the heck out of Dodge, but Beastman chasing Myers up the ramp. I mean, Myers attacked Beastman in the back. I don't see why.
Whoa, Mad Dog, where are you going? He's a little wild, he's Beastman. But I saw a entire match where you ran from him. You've been running from him for months. You come here every week, every month, and say you're the best big man we have. Well, let's prove it. December 11th, big man versus big man. Mad Dog, Beastman, and I see a leash, I see a collar. So let's make sure you don't run next month. We're having ourselves a dog collar match.
Wow! Commissioner Nicholas West.
Prove you're the best big man by beating the best Beastman.
Commissioner Nicholas West making the match for December 11th. Beastman, Mad Dog Myers, a dog collar match.
Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide when you were attached by the collar. Thank you so much for joining us on Fight TV for 5-Day Friday. We'll be back on pay-per-view on December 11th here on Fight TV. The championship for the VCW Heavyweight Championship. The tournament will be decided. We're going to have so much more. The tables match, the dog collar match. For Eamon, Jason Heat, thank you for joining us on Fight TV.